Every bag of fertilizer and seed should have been taken and turned in. That is because you know exactly what you're paying for. Okay? But this type of project, I've never worked a project like this, and I wasn't involved in this project. I'll tell you right now, I don't know anything about it. But that's your issue. It's no such thing as it not take. You'll find out the first time it didn't grow, you'll have a reason. There's no such thing that it don't take. The seed didn't germinate because it blew off the field, or there was too much straw, or whatever the case. There's something that's got to be determined. The second time you put it in, how are you putting it in? Maybe we need to change the method.
Okay.
There are several different ways of sowing grass.
But what we're trying to find out is who is responsible for it.
It'll be in the spec book.
And we don't have
Well, okay, but there's no...
You told me I couldn't get the spec book. It's right in the next room.
I never told you you couldn't get a spec book.
Well,
James told me to stay.
he said not to worry about it.
If you want to get a spec book, we'll get a spec book. I didn't tell you to stay put.
Yes, but who, but these guys didn't know about it because they are not involved with
I'm
that.
not blaming it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you
And I know
why.
Kevin didn't know.
Oh,
anything.
no.
I'm telling you
Yeah.
why there's no grass.
Right.
I'm not telling you whose fault it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But Kevin, they didn't take the proper documentation down. They didn't take the details that you mentioned should have been accounted for. There's no accountability on all the two previous times that we tried to plan.
And that's your problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we were trying to figure out.
So the accountability is one thing. There's no information, documentation as to what was applied, when it was applied, fertilizer, anything. And then Charlie, you mentioned the minutes of the Oslod committee.
Yes, sir.
You said there's shorthand.
Yes, sir.
So there are no actual minutes to your meetings that the committees hold.
There's none in.
You haven't gotten to transcribe from shorthand to
That's
an actual minute.
That's correct.
And the council's never seen it either?
No.
I'm not aware.
No.
Can you tell me?
So
who's on
not,
the committee?
so not even the
Yeah,
people
I don't-
on the Oslod committee have seen the minutes?
Probably not.
Who is on the committee, Charlie?
I'm probably going to miss somebody, but Dan Kovas and I co-chair. We've got Ty Malley. Steve Wallace is still on that committee. Help me out. Melissa Zollner.
Who?
Melissa Zollner
She's the one that got the equipment stuff from the hospital?
From the hospital.
Yeah, I helped with that.
Melissa.
Melissa, yes. And Jeff Cordis,
And
She was on it, and
Melissa is on the Oslo.
yes.
wasn't there one more?
Jeff Cordis.
I mentioned Ty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are the names that I have. But I also talked to some people that were on the original committee that did a lot of work for the softball stuff and were never told when any meetings were going to happen to be able to give their information, and are not real happy with the way that the softball fields turned out either. They were specifically asked because of their background in softball.
Look, let me ask this. You don't have regularly scheduled meetings.
No.
When you have had a meeting, you have shorthand minutes that have never been transcribed.
Correct.
No wonder.
And the press assails us.
Exactly.
Well, because now we are taking the heat because we have nowhere to have softball or soccer.
Right.
Because you have people looking at us and they're not even done. Well, we can't.
It hasn't even been turned over to you guys
Right,
to be
exactly.
under your umbrella
So it's
yet
not
as
even-
the park board,
Exactly.
because it hasn't been inspected.
Jim, you asked why we had an engineer. This is the spec book that the grass planting that Kevin referred to comes out of.
Well, apparently an engineer can't even plant grass and get it to grow.
This is the spec book for proposed tennis court, soccer, parking lots, entrance roads at the Cullen Recreational Facility. So
So how much is this gonna cost to keep receiving it?
I have no idea.
Don't know yet.
But we've got
I
the
got an
money.
estimate today.
Did
Just
you?
a rough guess, probably close to $3,000.
Well, I like to ask the question.
But I'm sure that varies on which type of way you do it. Now, that's just a
Okay.
guess, that's not official, nothing.
Was that lot, I don't know, I've been out there several times and it always looks weedy. Was it
It used to
cleaned
have
off
grass.
and
It
Yes.
must have, because it used to
Yes.
have grass
to
in
seed
there.
it? Don't you have to?
Yes, they spent up to $15,000 the
They-
first time
They
they did
laser,
it.
they laser graded that
Oh, I don't
this
know.
past fall,
That was during cross-country season.
And all we got was weed?
October.
Laser grading it is just making it smooth.
Because see, there always was grass there before, that's why I couldn't understand
Well-
what happened to it.
In order to make it smooth, you have to.
Well,
It was designed from Bodie's Lane area toward the softball fields to have between a 1 and a 1.5% slope to
okay.
facilitate drainage.
But we get this from the Chester Herald Tribune. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Well, each one of us got one of these little envelopes, the return address being the Randolph County Herald Tribune. And their claim is upon reviewing the Park Board member, our publication has found violations of what we believe to be of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. And they go on to state that the act provides that items not on the agenda cannot be acted upon, blah, blah, blah. They go through several issues that involve the Cohen Fields and the soccer situation in particular. Now, I'm of the opinion that the Oslog Committee should be under the same scrutiny as the Park and Recreation. You guys go completely unchecked.
I suspect that you're right,
Suspect.
that we as,
Suspect.
yes, sir, I suspect.
I think you ought to agree with me that you guys should be checked. You should have accurate minutes of your meetings. We should know what you're doing, when you do it, and how you do it. Because we're the ones that take the heat. Because you guys can't do your job.
If you're taking the heat for something that's not been passed over to you.
The Park Board has been on the front
Oh
page
my
of the Herald
God,
Tribune.
you've been
That-
up there to the paper, doing interviews with them. You
I-
called our president, you called Roy, you've called several people from the paper
Yes,
asking
I-
questions about
Yes.
soccer.
Yes, I
Why
did.
would you ask us when you are the ones that's dropped the ball on the soccer,
Once again,
the field?
the soccer field would not be ready today.
Well, if the baseball field wasn't ready, guess what? We'd still play on it. That's what it is, a baseball field, same as the softball fields. And the Chester paper put in there that you said that the Easter egg hunt would be in jeopardy.
I did not say that.
Well, you didn't know if it would be. Why would an Easter egg hunt be in jeopardy, Charlie?
I did not mention the Easter egg hunt.
Well, they did.
In the conversation with the paper.
Maybe you shouldn't have them conversations with the paper, because when they call me and accuse me of saying things to soccer players that are not true, I don't appreciate it.
You were asked a question.
It doesn't matter, I told you people. Oh, whatever.
You were asked a
Whatever.
question that you couldn't answer. That's it.
I don't have to answer.
She's not in charge of the soccer field. You should have been asking this man.
She was asked a question that we were told that she
So,
said
rumors.
to some people. No, they called us themselves.
That's rumors.
And you didn't want to answer the question, so that was the end of it.
Excuse
yeah,
me, you did
that-
not, you would not tell me who said it. That
No,
means it's
I
a
don't have
rumor.
to tell you who said it.
Exactly, and I don't have to answer you.
And you
Okay.
didn't.
So you made
Back
your own
to the
little
grass.
story.
They also called City Hall. They didn't just call us.
Have you questioned the Oslide Committee? I mean,
No,
he's right
they
next
won't.
door to you.
I don't know anything about the Oslo Committee.
Well, maybe you should be doing your research if you're a
This has
newspaper.
absolutely nothing to do with the Oslo meetings. This has to do with the park.
I'm not talking about that. I'm
That's
talking
what
about
you're
the
talking
soccer.
about.
Yes, but
That's
you
what
guys
that
are
has to
making
do
up, or you guys
We're making
I'm changing my wording now, aren't I? You guys are putting out there that these people are in charge of something that hasn't changed over to them yet. You guys haven't questioned the Oslad Committee. You automatically assume that they're in charge of it because it is at the Cohen Fields, correct? but they are not. So did you ask them